In 1993, Ranjit Singh, a 25-year-old man from a small village in Punjab, was searching for work. Although he was a graduate, he still struggled to find employment. During this time, Ranjit met Sukhwinder Singh Dhillon, who lived in Canada and was visiting India on holiday. Sukhwinder had moved to Canada in 1981 in search of work. Though he wasn't well educated, he managed to speak broken English. Initially, Sukhwinder had to do several small jobs in Canada, changing jobs frequently, but his fortune changed when he started buying and selling old cars. He established a successful business in Hamilton. When Ranjit met Sukhwinder, he saw a bright future for himself in Canada. So in 1993, Ranjit moved to Canada with his newlywed wife, Lakhwinder. Sukhwinder helped him with the visa process. After arriving in Canada, Ranjit became Sukhwinder's partner in the old car business. Ranjit trusted Sukhwinder immensely and respected him greatly, referring to him as uncle. Their families lived nearby in Hamilton, and the business flourished. In May 1996, they took out a life insurance policy for $100,000 to protect their business in case one of them died in an accident. If either of them passed away, the other would receive the insurance money. Additionally, the policy stated that if one of them died in an accident, the payout would double. One day, Ranjit's wife, Lakhwinder, was washing dishes in the kitchen when she suddenly heard Ranjit screaming from the dining room. She rushed to find him lying on the floor, writhing in pain. His body was bent in agony, and his eyes were bulging. Lakhwinder was initially frozen with shock, but soon tried to help her husband. Unable to lift him, she called an ambulance. Ranjit was taken to the hospital, but could not be saved. On June 23, 1996, Ranjit Singh died under very painful and mysterious circumstances, with his body rigid. Sukhwinder was deeply shocked upon learning of his business partner's death. Ranjit's sudden and mysterious death puzzled everyone, including the Canadian doctors, as there were no visible injuries or signs of poison in his body. Doctors speculated that he might have died from a sudden heart attack, but also noted that other factors could have been involved. After Ranjit's death, the insurance money was to be paid to Sukhwinder Singh. However, before the payout, an insurance company officer needed to investigate Ranjit's death. The claim investigator, Cliff Elliott, visited Sukhwinder's home in Hamilton to review the documents, all of which were in order. But while sitting in the house, Elliott noticed a picture of Guru Nanak on the wall. This triggered a memory he had seen the same picture at Sukhwinder's old house about a year and a half earlier. At that time, Elliott had been investigating another insurance claim for Sukhwinder's first wife, Parvesh Kaur, who had died on February 3, 1995, at the age of 36. Sukhwinder had received $215,000 from her life insurance claim and had a loan of $18,000 in her name forgiven. Elliott grew suspicious and decided to investigate further. He reported to the Hamilton police that two people close to Sukhwinder had died mysteriously within just a year and a half, and both times, Sukhwinder had received significant insurance payouts. The Hamilton police also found this suspicious and assigned Detective Warren Corral to investigate. Corral began by looking into the death of Sukhwinder's wife, Parvesh Kaur. Sukhwinder and Parvesh had married in 1983. Parvesh was well educated, spoke good English, and aspired to be a teacher. However, when her father, Hardev Gruel, learned that Sukhwinder lived in Canada, he saw a promising future for his daughter and arranged the marriage. Sukhwinder took a large dowry from Parvesh's family. After the wedding, the couple moved to Canada. Sukhwinder, however, was ambitious, arrogant, and greedy. He forced Parvesh to work as well. Under pressure, Parvesh worked several jobs in Canada, starting at a mushroom farm. On July 26, 1985, she gave birth to a daughter named Harpreet. 6 months after her daughter's birth, Parvesh had to start working in a garment factory. Later, she became pregnant again, but she had to undergo an abortion, after which she worked in a shoe factory. Then in 1988, she gave birth to another girl, Aman. In 1991, Parvesh Kaur became pregnant again, but this time Sukhwinder wanted a son. Due to this, Parvesh Kaur came to India for a gender test, which revealed that she was going to have another girl. She then had an abortion. Sukhwinder Singh was so desperate for a son that he was about to adopt a boy. However, due to pressure from Parvesh Kaur's family, he changed his mind about adopting. It is said that Sukhwinder used to treat his wife, Pravish Kaur, like an animal. He would constantly fight with her and beat her up. Once, Sukhwinder Singh beat her so badly that she filed a complaint against him with the police, which led to him spending a day in jail. However, suddenly Pravish Kaur fell ill, experiencing constant pain in her head. Despite visiting several doctors, the pain wouldn't go away. On the night of January 31st, 1995, during dinner time, Pravish was lying in the living room when suddenly her fists clenched and her teeth locked. She felt as if an electric shock had ripped through her spine, and she screamed in pain, saying, "I'm dying." Her whole body stiffened, and her teeth clenched together. Her face became very strange and frightening. Her 7-year-old daughter, Aman, was terrified upon seeing her mother in this condition. She ran to a neighbor, Olga, and brought her back to her mother. Olga saw that Pravish was lying on the floor, her body twisted like a bow. Sukhwinder, too, was frightened by his wife's condition and began giving her water quickly from a glass. Meanwhile, Olga started rubbing Pravish's feet, but her body stiffened even more. At that moment, Pravish was trying to say something to Olga, but before she could, she lost consciousness. Pravish was then taken to Hamilton General Hospital, but the doctors there said they had never seen a patient in such a condition and had not seen such symptoms in any illness before. Pravish Kaur was placed on life support. She remained unconscious for 4 days, but the strangest part was that all her test reports were normal. On February 3rd, after getting Sukhwinder's consent, Pravish was taken off life support. According to the doctor's report, her death was considered natural, but the exact cause was unclear. Sukhwinder Singh told the doctors that before Pravish's condition worsened on January 31st, she had taken a capsule prescribed for her headache, after which she died. Now, 2 people close to Sukhwinder Singh Dhillon had died, his wife, Pravish Kaur, and his business partner, Ranjit Singh Case. Both had died under similar circumstances, with no clear cause of death. However, the thing to consider was that Sukhwinder stood to benefit from both deaths. Investigating Officer Warren became suspicious when he learned that the day after Pravish Kaur's death, Sukhwinder had filed a claim for her insurance money. Sukhwinder should have been grieving over his wife's death, but he seemed more concerned about getting the insurance money. The Hamilton police then ordered an expanded investigation, which now extended to India as well. In India, Detective Warren was assisted by an Indian-origin detective named Kevin Hinds. Kevin and Warren were sent to Sukhwinder Singh's home in Ludhiana for the investigation. Upon reaching Ludhiana, they met with the Punjab police, informed them of the details, and began investigating Sukhwinder Singh with their help. The investigation revealed shocking details. It was found that Sukhwinder Singh had come to Punjab immediately after Pravish Kaur's death. Upon arriving, the first thing he did was marry again. Just 9 weeks after Pravish Kaur's death, Sukhwinder Singh Dhillon married Sarabjit Kaur Brar from Panchgrain village in Jalandhar district. He took a hefty dowry from Sarabjit's family as well. But Sukhwinder didn't stop there. A few days after marrying Sarabjit, he secretly married a third woman, Kushwinder Kaur Preet, from Tibba in Kapurthala district. He took a substantial dowry from her family as well. Sukhwinder then promised both wives that he would take them to Canada soon and return to Canada. Meanwhile, Sarabjit Kaur and Kushwinder's families began preparing their passports and other necessary documents. A few months later, Sukhwinder Singh Dhillon received the news that his second wife, Sarabjit Kaur, had given birth to twins. Sarabjit named one child Gurmeet and the other Gurvidya. A few days later, Sukhwinder Singh Dhillon came from Canada to Punjab to meet his twin children. Sarabjit and the twins were in good health. Everything seemed to be going well for a few days, but then, one day, suddenly, he fell ill, and within 12 days, both children died. Without any investigation, the 2 children were buried. Sukhwinder Singh was deeply saddened by the sudden death of his twin children. Afterward, he told his second wife, Sarabjit, and went to his ancestral home in Ludhiana. However, on that day, Sukhwinder Singh Dhillon did not go to his home in Ludhiana. Instead, he went to the home of his third wife, Kushwinder Kaur Preet, who was eagerly waiting for her husband, expecting him to take her to Canada. To fulfill his wife's dream, Sukhwinder Singh took her for a medical checkup. After the checkup, He left her in her village, Tibba, and returned to Ludhiana. But upon arriving in Ludhiana, Sukhvinder Singh Dhillon received more bad news. His third wife, Khushvinder Kaur Preet, whom he had just taken for a medical checkup, had also passed away. Her body was stiff, and her face had become distorted. The doctors attributed her death to an unknown disease. A few days after Khushvinder's death, Sukhvinder Singh Dhillon married again. His fourth wife was named Sukhvinder Kaur Grul. By then, 5 people connected to Sukhvinder Singh Dhillon had died, including 2 deaths in Canada, Parvesh Kaur and Ranjit Kella, and 3 in India, including the twin babies, Gurmeet and Gurvinder, and his third wife, Khushvinder Kaur Preet. The last death was Ranjit Singh Kella, which triggered the investigation. In Canada, forensic tests were conducted on samples taken from Ranjit Singh's body, revealing traces of a poisonous substance called strychnine. This poison is found in the seeds of the Nux vomica tree, which does not grow in Canada but is common in India. Detectives Warren and Kevin then returned to Punjab, where, with the help of the Punjab police, they exhumed the bodies of Sarabjit Kaur's twin children and took samples for forensic analysis. Traces of strychnine were also found in the children's bodies, confirming that they had been poisoned as well. Since Khushvinder Kaur Preet's body had already been cremated, no tests could be performed, but based on her symptoms, it was concluded that she too had been poisoned with strychnine. Detectives Warren and Kevin realized that Sukhvinder Singh Dhillon was not an ordinary man, but a serial killer responsible for 5 murders, including 2 innocent newborns. The question now was, where did Sukhvinder get the strychnine? To answer this, the Canadian detectives visited shops in Ludhiana that sold herbs and learned about a substance called kunchad, also known as kuchla or kadra, which is used to kill rats and insects. Tests revealed that kunchad contained strychnine, and it was also discovered that the poison cannot be detected through normal medical tests. This confirmed that Sukhvinder Singh Dhillon had cruelly murdered 5 people, including his children, by mixing strychnine into their food or medicine, knowing that doctors wouldn't be able to detect the poison in a routine test. Later, Ranjit Singh's wife, Lakhvinder, testified in court that Sukhvinder Singh had given her husband a medicine to treat back pain and impotence, after which Ranjit Kella died a painful death. Similarly, he had eliminated his twin children, his first wife Parvesh Kaur, and his third wife Khushvinder. The motive behind these murders was to claim dowry money and insurance payouts. Sukhvinder killed his children to avoid any future complications. In October 1997, Sukhvinder Singh Dhillon was arrested by Hamilton police for the murders of his first wife, Parvesh Kaur, and his business partner, Ranjit Singh Kella. The police did not include the 3 murders in India in their charge sheet, although several witnesses from India were brought to Canada and their testimonies were recorded in court. After a long trial in Montreal, in 2001, Sukhvinder Singh Dhillon was sentenced to life imprisonment. On November 21, 2013, at the age of 54, Sukhvinder Singh Dhillon died of cancer at Kingston Hospital in Canada. Friends, the purpose of sharing this story is not to upset or trouble anyone, but to make you aware and alert. What are your thoughts on this entire incident? Please share them in the comments. If you liked our efforts, do like and share this video. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. Thank you.